So I'm going to show you a quick video on how to turn what is a JPEG video with a image with a white background into a transparent PNG file. So we can see by dragging in here that is an image that has a white background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on that and say copy image. I'm going to switch over here to Photoshop. And when I say new, Command N for new document, it's going to, I'm going to say the preset is the clipboard. So it's going to match, it's going to use whatever image is in the clipboard for these dimensions and the color space for that image. So it's going to be ready to go for us to just paste it in. So if I say OK now, and then I'm going to hit Command V to paste it, you see we have an image that's just been copied over. Now you notice over here in the layers palette there's a white background and then there's our layer. We're not going to need this background, so we're just going to get rid of that for now. So just throw this in the trash, and now we just have one layer. So I'm going to holding down the command and the space bar. It gives me the magnifying glass, and I'm zooming in on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my magic selection tool here. I'm going to say click on here and click, and hold down the shift key, so it gives you a little plus icon, and click there. So now we have actually, and you'll notice here how it's not capturing the top of this, and we're going to have this. That's going to result in a real jaggedy area up here. This is more or less a circle, but it's going to be flat on the top. So there's a little trick we're going to do first. So I'm going to hit Command D to deselect, and I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say image canvas size. You won't be able to see the menu because I have the video just set to the Photoshop window. But you'll see that right now the image is 2.319 inches wide and 1.306 inches high. So I'm just going to change both of these to 1.5 and 1.5, and which is basically it's going to add. It's just going to add space to the image and crop some of it. So it's going to say, hey, you're cropping some of the image. I'm going to say go ahead and proceed. So now what we have is our square canvas and our image floating there. So now it's created this extra transparent area here and here. That little check boxes indicate that in this layer over here it is transparent. So now we're going to proceed to select. I'm clicking on the white area. I hold down Shift and I select this white area, and I'm going to select the transparent areas as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say select, inverse the selection. It's also Command Shift I. So now instead of the outside area which you selected, we have the actual area of the image selected. So what I'm going to do is I use a option under the select menu. There's an option that says refine edge, and the refine edge tool is a really nifty tool. Now we're seeing this pixelated because we're zoomed in beyond what 1:1 is with. So that's one screen pixel per every image pixel, so that's why you're not seeing those white lines in between it. So this is where ideally where we want to view this from. Now another way to do this that might make it easier to do is add a layer. Oops, hang on, forget that. I'm going to add a layer of type. You can't see me scrolling down here, but it says oh yeah, you can see it, solid color. And I'm going to make this layer be like blue or something like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and put it down here. Unfortunately, I had the selection made when I did that. So Option delete. Okay. So I hit Option delete to delete the transparency of that. So maybe that's a little confusing. Let's try that again. I'll show it to you this way. before you've made any of your selections, anyway, before you've made any of your selections, you make this extra layer here, solid color. You can make it whatever color you want, and I'm going to put it behind the top layer. Okay, so now what we can do is we grab our select tool and we make the layer with the button is on, our active layer, and we click, shift click. I'm going to click on this transparent area, top and bottom, and now I'm going to say select inverse. So inverted the selection, so now just the button is selected. And now, as I said before, we're going to say select refine edge. Now what you see is a preview of what this is going to look like, which looks pretty crummy right now. But this select the refine edges has these really nice features that allow you to actually go in and do things like smooth the edge. Now, if you over smooth the edge, it's going to look really weird. So usually you need teeny tiny little increments like 1.5 smoothness. I've got to use integers, so that's 2. And feathering it will actually make it the transparency effect be a little bit more effective. You can use this Smart Radius tool, and sometimes if I turn this off, and the Smart Radius may or may not do a good job, but as you'll notice, it's actually grabbing pixels that are inside, so we're not going to use that. Well, maybe it's not. Oh yeah, it was. So I'm going to smooth the edge just the tiniest bit, like 2 pixels. Well, let's try 1 pixel. That's just barely a little bit. Now I'm going to feather it 0.5. So you're still see that stair steppiness? That's from the fact that it was originally put down on top of something that had a it was right up against the edge of the image. So now it's looking pretty good. In order to make the edge not so fuzzy looking, we can actually increase the contrast of it, and now we're actually getting something that looks a little bit more like what we want. I'm going to increase the feather to make that a little bit less apparent. Increase the contrast again a little bit, and that's now we have a nice, really pretty nice button. So I'm going to say OK. So now all we've done is created the selection. Now what we want to do is we're going to invert that selection again. So you say select inverse. Now what we're going to do is hit the delete key, which effectively takes that selection we created and deletes off of that layer. Now I'm going to hit Command D to deselect everything, and now if you'll see, if we click on our solid color layer and change it to different colors, you can see that it is in fact going to work properly on top of any color. Okay, so now that background color was just for so we could get the effect proper. So we're going to throw that away and get prepared to output this. You'll notice now you have the checkerboard showing that it's transparent. So I'm going to go here over in the File menu. Again, you can't see it because I don't have it on screen, but right underneath there's a Save command in the File menu, then Save As, then Check In, and then one that says Save for Web ... So I say Save for Web. Now I'm going to choose PNG 24 if it's not already chosen. JPEGs do not support transparency. GIFs do in a certain manner, but they're not nearly as good as our best friend, PNG 24. You can kind of ignore the color settings, but this transparency setting does have to be on. You'll notice if I turn it off, we're just going to get a white background. But if you turn the transparency on, it's going to honor the cut out areas of that layer as transparent. So I say Save. I'm just going to save it to this temporary directory here and call it New Button. And save. Now we go to my directory that contains that. Wherever it is, drive to temp new button.png. Open that guy up, and sure enough, he's still transparent. And if I preview that, hang on. If I have that new button, I preview it just by hitting the space bar, you'll see that it is in fact transparent. So now anywhere you use this image now, it is going to be transparent as long as wherever you're dropping it into supports PNG. But PowerPoint, web, anywhere else is going to support that transparency. So that's how you knock out a background and make a transparent object when you want to do it.